Hello, listeners. Welcome to Views on Health. A great pleasure to have with me on the program tonight Dr. Surantha Perera, President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association and a consultant pediatrician at the Base Hospital in Panadura. Welcome back to SLBC and our studios, Doctor. And for the information of our listeners, Dr. Surantha Perera is going to focus on climate change and its impact on health. Yet another area that he is going to pay much attention to during his year of presidency at the SLMA. Over to you, Doctor, to introduce the topic.
Yeah, thank you very much for that kind introduction. When we talked about climate effects in our country, first thing what I want to is draw attention to what is global health. Global health is fundamentally a fundamental concept. We are talking about achieving better health outcome for vulnerable populations and communities worldwide. Those who study or practice global health, they work to eliminate health disparities in low resource settings worldwide through research, education, and collaborative interventions. So then we started talking about this planetary health. So what is this all talk about this planetary health? That is where we try to find solutions which are oriented and transdisciplinary field and social movement which are focused on analyzing and addressing the impacts of human disruption to Earth's natural system on human health and all life on Earth. So impact of human behavior has disrupted the protecting the climate, and this climate change alters the pattern of disease, mortality, as well as human settlements, food, water, and sanitation. Simply thinking about it, it brings increase in temperatures, rising seas, and more frequent incidents of severe storms. And not only that, known human impacts, including flooding, which can increase risk of water-related illnesses, vector-borne illnesses, and impact on food production, increase drought cycles, and diminish micronutrients in staple crops. The pollutants tied to carbon emissions are also determinants to human health, and today there is a greater mortality globally due to air pollution than because of HIV, malaria, and TB, that is tuberculosis combined. As a country in the South Asian region, we are also not different from the others, but a special thing is, being an island nation, the impact is more. The impact on our neighbors, that is the Maldives. People think that as a country they may disappear, wiped out because of the rising sea level. When we look at the fundamental things, the human population is healthier than ever before. Life expectancy has gone up, poverty has been reduced, child mortality has been reduced. But to achieve this, we have exploited the planet at an unprecedented rate. Carbon dioxide emission has gone up, ocean acidification, energy use utilization has gone up, tropical forest loss, water loss, and fertilizer use, everything has gone up. On our current trajectory, we will put even more pressure on the planet, on our country, and with the population burst, what we require, the grain production now, all when you tune to TV, people are talking about a little bit of rice, different types of rice. Those are issues even in Sri Lanka. We talked about clean water because of recent floods, so the demand for the water is also more, and the flood will increase it more. And we are talking about clean water. So damaging the planet, damage the human health, and then the same thing applies to our country. So we have to have protective measures. So these are the concepts embodied in our thematic areas which we are going to discuss. And in this concept, what I thought is, what is going to be our responsibility in this situation, in this framework. So, as the chairperson of the Planetary Health and Climate Effects, I thought the best thing is to get the health professional into one group and focus on promote some thematic area. So my members' selections was a climate smart green hospital in Sri Lanka. So we develop a 10-point agenda. That is, the first thing is to prioritize environmental health, and number two is to implement energy efficiency and clean renewable energy generation, and reduce and treat and safely dispose healthcare waste. Fourth one is sustainable water consumption, then substitute harmful chemicals, food purchase and severe sustainability grown healthy food. And the seventh one is pharmaceutical, safely manage and dispose of pharmaceuticals. What about the construction support? Think about green and healthy hospital design and construction. And then the procurement, under procurement, buy safer and more sustainable products and materials. And finally, transportation, improve transportation strategies for patient and staff. So this 10-point agenda will help health sector to develop a framework, a policy document, how future hospitals should be planned, and to improve existing infrastructure and reorganize existing hospitals in such a way to address at least partly this climate effects, to reduce the climate effects.
Thank you so much. That gives us a real, a broad outline on what your focus is. So climate change, we talk about it, I think, without sometimes realizing how much it can affect our health. The fact that we feel warm all the time and then we put it down to climate change, but beyond that we don't know what exactly has brought it about. Now, your policies, this 10 points that you have outlined, basically covers a very, very vast area of addressing these issues and bringing about positive change. Are there any areas that you would straight away want to work on of the 10 points?
I think one of the areas is prioritize environmental health in our agenda, that is health sector, and prioritize it in the government sector. We know with the UN agencies focusing more and more on it, we have heard and seen the previous government and the present government is more and more focusing on it. Then our task is to link with these groups and play advocacy role and focus on health, specifically health. Otherwise what will happen is they will approach it holistically, but real focus on health will be diluted. So the giving leadership at all levels is one of the important thing. And when we organize the organization structure, we were previously one of the programs we were talking about policies. So developing proper policies and getting experts into these committees is very important, and plan short-term, long-term outcomes, and not only that, financing these projects is very, very important. In the current crisis, global as well as in Sri Lanka, the finances is one point. Finance is one point we have to keep an eye on. So that is prioritizing environmental health.
So when you say, again, environmental health, how best do you address the issues? What are the key areas that need to be addressed?
So one simple thing is, if you take the point like implementing energy efficiency and use clean and renewable energy, that's a sort of a area which we have to focus on. And so the hospital need energy, so can't we use solar and wind, especially solar? Sri Lanka is, as we know, we have a lot of opportunities to use sun. And then solar energy is a popularized theme. So most of the hospitals we can use solar panels placed on the roofs. So they say, because we recent times, if we look at the electricity bills, it's amount to millions. If I'm correct, it's around nearly several millions for the Lady J hospital when it comes to electricity bill. But using solar energy, we can reduce the cost. The problem is when we are planning hospitals, we have to think about these things. Otherwise, that is for the future and the present. Otherwise, what will happen is, after building the hospital, if we think about it, we have to use a lot of money to install these things. So the environment or the structures won't be that friendly. And when we use solar energy, we can reduce the greenhouse gases, because greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, they retain the heat and the temperature goes up. And the recent times also, as Sri Lankan also, we have experienced the effects of heat and heat strokes. Heat strokes we hear a lot about in the Middle Eastern countries, but Sri Lanka we are seeing less. But the impact is more because if you take a pregnant mother, when the heat itself can cause a lot of changes, and one thing is increasing blood pressure and mental distress and the impact on the breathing. That's that one thing. And then it affects the fetus also. The heat or the temperature is teratogenic, especially the growing embryo. That is, it can harm the development of the organs. So we must not contribute to greenhouse gases as hospitals. So keep an eye on this, very important. And then it's healthier for the staff also. Some of the time we use generators if the electricity is not available, because 24 hours power supply should be available. So generators, we use diesel. Diesel emit gases. So if we have solar, we can use solar when we are using, as well as we can store it in batteries. There are special innovative ways of storing it, so we can cut down on the utilization of fossil fuel as well as electricity. And then if we have extra, we can supply it for the grid also, and that is beneficial for the government to reduce the cost. Cost per unit we are paying as Sri Lankan citizens.
So how effectively can this transformation take place in the current setup? Now the buildings our hospitals are already there, and obviously they are working. But you have a very good system now to reduce, its impact, negative impact of the climate or the heat that is radiated through electricity to a natural means. How possible is it to do so?
It's like
in the maybe in the medium term.
A medium term. It is if government is keen to adopt this policy, we can use existing building, the roofs. Especially, we have to focus on bigger hospital. Smaller hospital, we say district level hospitals, base hospital C and B, their requirement of energy is less, but lot of consumptions happen at the district general hospital, provincial general hospital and teaching hospitals. There are a lot of consultants are working there, then theaters are all the time running, and utilization of energy is more. So first we have to select, it should be the top approach rather than bottom to top approach, so top to bottom. So we can select the provincial general hospital or district general hospital, and we can, from each district, we select one. And we will do it, and we will show the impact on the, definitely it's going to reduce the cost they pay for a month electricity bill. And then we can assess over, we say 6 months, the profit we gain and the investment we have done. And then like that, if we assess it over a 1 year period, the costing, if we do properly, we can show the benefits, how much the environmental benefit, what is the financial benefits, what is the benefit for the human well-being, and especially the health work staff and the patients. So once we prove for ourselves the outcome, it's a matter of then moving to the next level. So my suggestion is we'll select several districts and we'll showcase our outcomes.
Thank you, Doctor, and I hope this will work out because it's an excellent scheme, and at least you have to take a step forward. If otherwise you will not go anywhere. So I sincerely hope that during your tenure, this particular aspect will be addressed and it will see positive results. What other area that of your 10 points would be like in focus next?
Yeah, so the another area.
Or would you simultaneously focus on 2-3 areas?
I think if we are constructing a new hospital, we can simultaneously focus on all 10 points. But if we are focusing on some of the already built hospital, we can select certain things. Like then I was talking about using the solar energy to improve the energy efficiency, and we know solar is a clean and renewable energy. What about reducing and treating and safely disposing healthcare waste? That is very important. So if you have listened to some of the news items, they show the poorly disposed the waste materials, and showing the syringes, some discarded empty bottles which are contain medicines, some are sort of use reagents for certain, we say, X-ray machines, some are related to radiotherapy, etc. It carries toxins. So we have to safely dispose them, and then we have to have incinerators, and to do this, we have to develop such a mechanism how we dispose of this solid waste and reduce greenhouse gases. Research has shown hospitals contribute immensely for these things when it comes to safety. So when we are building, we can think about this safe disposal, and this developing a policy on these things very important. Not only that, it is again linked to another concept, the safe procurement also. When we procure things also, whether it has once we use it, the discarded material, the remnants, how toxic these are also very important. More and more people use environmental degradable products, and then those things very easily we can discard. So the procurement process also linked to it. So this is another area we want to focus on. And then two other areas are, we need water. So water consumption, we have to think about how we get water and use it. And water is very important. We have to cut down on the wastage, because otherwise the demand goes up, unnecessary wastage, because we consume a lot of water for sanitation, and then water for drinking purposes. And we use water to clean up these machines also, and then wash some containers which contain toxic materials. So it has to be done a methodical way. I know we don't have a written policy on these things. These are in books, but I don't know how much health staff is aware of it. And then in the same line, what about the food purchase and thinking about the sustainability of the grown healthy food in this hospital environment, because when we consume food, sometimes have we thought about buying more unsaturated fats, because we know some foods contain excessive saturated fats, refined carbohydrates, processed foods, and then sometimes people bring it from household. Are we educating on them? Because when we create a demand, more production comes in. So recent times also we were talking about Food Act regarding promotion and etc. So the control in these things are very important. What goes into the hospital kitchen, what patients bring from their relatives bring from their kitchen. So developing a sort of, one is awareness, raising awareness, educating the patients. The other thing is developing a policy or the guideline on what we should do. Not only that, especially when it comes to the hospitals which are situated in the rural areas, we can encourage the local farmers to produce quality food which are not contaminated a lot, and the fertilizer use and the insecticides and pesticide use we can minimize, and this will support their economy also. Microeconomy level we can support. So it's especially these concepts can nicely executed at different levels, especially the rural hospital. So this situation may be a little bit complicated when we think about a hospital situated in a city, but for a hospital situated in a rural area, we can do it this thing with the help of the community. So what I want to is raise the awareness during this talk, how we can engage the community, engage the authorities, how we can engage the policymakers to think about it and do something, but do it in more scientifically, and then develop a framework how we assess the impact also.
So when do we intend to present this to the Ministry of Health?
We have finished the first draft. What we want is we have a eminent group of people. People like Buddhi Marame, Ajit Alves, and not only that, the current health secretary was the secretary for the Ministry of Health, Dr. Anil Jasinger. He handled a lot of climate effects issues, so we are fortunate to have him at the ministry as the secretary. So with them, he's in my committee, so we can polish it up and put more evidence into it, and then what we want is to have a separate meeting, present it to the minister, that's the political leadership, and the top officials, and convince them first, and then they will convince in return the cabinet, and then once we get the approval, one thing is how they facilitate implementation, financing it, and raising awareness, connecting with the media, networking, and other advocacy groups. And another thing is UN agencies, they are ready to, we want to present it to the UN agencies also. Recently, at the UNFP and WHO, they told us their willingness to engage SLMA to work on these lines. Especially UNFP want us to work with them, how to reduce the impact on climate effects, impacts on perinatal health, mother and baby. WHO wants us to work on how it affects mitigate all these effects, the population level, and they have offered a lot of funding, but it's our responsibility to develop projects and present.
Are there any such similar programs in other parts of the world?
Yes,
the developed countries.
Yeah, other countries, or most of the European countries, they have adopted it, and they are very concerned about it, especially how the energy is being used, the environment, to develop the greenery, and the air quality. Air quality is a major issue in some of the countries, especially New Delhi, the regional cities. They have a lot of air pollution, and then the waste disposal. Not only that, they have enacted environmental acts, and some are punishable offence. They can take legal action if we are not adherent to it, and they have educated their communities in such a way. They also demand. So they have created demand from the authorities to implement this, and then they lodge lawsuits. I don't want to go to that level, but it's a responsibility of the population to demand what they want. It will create the need, and that need will be the focus point for the policymakers and the implementation level, as well as the politicians will be more aware of it.
Just a comment, Doctor. The community should be aware of the need for this.
Yes, correct.
The importance of
yes,
it.
Correct.
How would you create that?
I think even I previously talked about the policy cycle where we will try to engage the Ministry of Health. So in this context, we are talking about 6 pillars. The 7th pillar, what I propose, is the engagement of the people, the citizens of that country. So as a leading organization, we can use the mass media, and we can use the social media, and we can use our website, etc., to educate the people. But we can do it at different level. That is, it's a sort of as a country we do quickly engage in them, but at the locality level we can network with the grassroots level leadership and then educate them. We say Grama Sevaka, Samudhi Niladhari, and these people, midwife, PHI, we can get their help. Especially people forget this public health framework. So all areas comes under this Grama Niladhari Vasam or the public midwife area. So they are the grassroots level agents who will take this message to the public, and each community level. So we have to approach top approach as well as the bottom approach. So we will be successful, but the going may be slower. We have to pace it out such a way, and I think other countries have shown positive results. We should not be different from that.
I think on that very positive note, we are reluctantly compelled to end this interesting discussion. Thank you so much, Doctor, once again for being with us on the program.
Thank you, Fatima.
And so we place on record our grateful thanks to Dr. Surantha Perera, President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association and a consultant pediatrician at the base hospital in Panadura, for being once again on the program and sharing his valuable insight into one of the areas that he wants to achieve during his presidency of the SLMA, and that is climate change and its impact on health. Thank you once again, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too to Nilanthi Puranagedara for technical assistance. I'm Fatima Razikada saying good night and hoping to catch you next Monday, same time on Views on Health.